What if I told you there's a man who shaped Disney parks more than almost anyone else, but most Disney fans don't even know his name? He worked side by side with Walt Disney himself, helped open Disneyland, and later oversaw every Disney park in the world. That man is Dick Nunis. And after more than 20 years of silence, he's finally telling a story in his memoir, Walt's Apprentice, Keeping the Disney Dream Alive. The question is, does it live up to the magic of his legacy? To understand this book, you first need to know who Dick Nunis was. Back in 1955, just before Disneyland opened, a young college graduate named Dick Nunis got a job at the park. Nothing fancy. He started as a ride operator and trainer, but he didn't just punch the clock. He absorbed everything Walt said, everything he did. Nunis climbed the ranks quickly, Jungle Cruise supervisor, then vice president of operations, then executive vice president of both Disneyland and the brand new Walt Disney World in 1971. Eventually, he became chairman of the Walt Disney Attractions, which basically meant he was in charge of all Disney theme parks worldwide. His reputation? Tough, demanding. They called him SOB number 1, but he wore that nickname proudly because his entire focus was on the one thing, the guest experience. If Walt said the guest comes first, Dick Nunis made sure it happened. Now, here's why this memoir is such a big deal. Nunis retired in 1999, and after that, he was quiet. He didn't do interviews, he didn't show up at fan events, he was a ghost in the Disney community. So the fact that he's finally opening up, through Disney's own publishing arm no less, is massive. It's a primary source from someone who worked with Walt himself, and that's something historians and Disney fans alike have been waiting for. But let's be honest, the Disney company of today doesn't always feel like the one Walt built. Guests complain about high prices, longer lines, and a focus on profits over magic. So the big question hanging over this book is, what does Dick Nunis think about all of that? And does he reveal anything we didn't already know? I'll admit, when I opened the book, I wondered, would he be bitter? Would this be a tell-all full of grudges against Imagineers he clashed with? The answer? Surprisingly, no. Nunis doesn't sling mud. He doesn't drag people through the dirt. What he does share is fascinating, though, the constant tug-of-war between operations and creative. Imagineers wanted to push boundaries with bold, sometimes impractical ideas. Nunis' job was to make sure the parks ran smoothly, safely, and with guests in mind. Instead of trashing the Imagineers, he describes those clashes as healthy debates, arguments that, in the end, created better experiences for guests. This book is structured into 4 acts. Each act moves chronologically through his life and career, and each chapter is short, just a few pages long. Think of it like a James Patterson novel. Quick, accessible, easy to keep reading. At the end of each chapter, he drops off a nugget of wisdom, something he learned at Disney that applies to life and leadership in general. That format makes the book feel part memoir and part business guide. So what stood out to me? First, the sheer number of anecdotes. Nunis shares behind-the-scenes stories that Disney fans will eat up. Many of the Nunis tall tales that circulated for decades finally have his version in print. Second, his perspective on Walt. Nunis doesn't mythologize him in the way some memoirs do. He paints Walt as a mentor, yes, but also as someone who set impossibly high standards and expected everyone, including Nunis, to live up to them. And third, his stance on guest service. This isn't a book about corporate profits or flashy marketing. Nunis is clear. Walt taught him that guests always come first. Reading it now in 2025, you can't help but feel a pang of nostalgia, because compared to today, when every snack and perk seems monetized, those good old days of guest-first leadership feel like a different world. If you're looking for scandal, this book won't deliver it. Nunis doesn't spill secrets about executives or bash anyone by name. But what you do get is a rare window into the mind of someone who built the Disney park experience we all take for granted. And honestly, that's valuable. Because whether you're a diehard Disney historian or just someone who loves visiting the parks, Nunis' perspective explains why the parks felt so magical for so long, and why many fans feel the magic slipping away today. Here's the bottom line. If you're a Disney historian, this book is essential. There just aren't many firsthand memoirs of people who worked directly under Walt Disney, especially about the creation of Walt Disney World. For the casual fan, you will enjoy it too. It's not dense, it's not academic, and it's not written just for researchers. It reads like sitting down with Dick Nunis over coffee and letting him tell stories from his career. That said, it's not the most stylish Disney memoir out there. Kevin Rafferty's book, for example, is much more entertainingly written. Nunis' style is straightforward, very much like his management style. Direct, no nonsense. You'll learn a lot, but you won't necessarily be dazzled by the prose. So is Walt's Apprentice going to change Disney as a company? Probably not. Is it going to spark debate among fans about the good old days of guest first service? Absolutely. This book isn't just a memoir. It's a reminder of a philosophy Disney may have lost, that every decision, every battle, every tough call should come down to one thing: the guest experience. And for that reason alone, this book is worth picking up. So, are you going to read Walt's Apprentice? Leave me a comment and let me know. I would love to hear from you. I'm George Taylor from Imaginerding, and I hope to see you in the parks.